Hi everyone. Today we are going to be reviewing the movie Thappad. Thappad means slap in English, and this movie is a Bollywood movie. It's available on Netflix. It stars Taapsee Pannu in the lead. There's a newcomer, Pavail Gulati, along with other seasoned actors like Tanvi Azmi, Ratna Patak Shah, Kumud, Mishra, etc. So the first time I heard about Thappad, it intrigued me because I'm just wondering what this movie is all about, and the story is about Taapsee Pannu, who goes by the name of Ammu or Amrita in the movie. That she's a next door wife who loves her husband. She gets up in the morning, runs house chores, makes breakfast and lunch for him, and then waits for him in the evening to come back. And her husband is pretty ambitious. He wants to become the CEO of a company and go to London. And one day, when this announcement comes, he is very excited and he hosts a party at his place. He invites 40 to 50 people. And that's when his boss calls him and he says that even though he's going to be the CEO in London, he's going to be working under someone. So that really frustrates him, and he argues with one of his co-worker. He's drunk, and his wife tries to intervene, and he, in a fit of rage, slaps his wife in front of everyone. And this is it. That's where the movie actually begins from. So Taapsee Pannu, who is Amrita, is really embarrassed. She goes into her room, and all the guests leave. And next day in the morning, like, she gets up. She's no longer the same person anymore, because she just can't believe that her husband um, slapped her in front of the entire audience. It just shatters her. She's broken, and she just wants to leave him and go to her parents' house. And her father, played by Kumud Mishra, he's very supportive, and he feels bad that why did someone slap his daughter. And the rest of the cast, have that old Indian baggage, the legacy, which is like, it is what it is, just move on and, go back to your home. Even when uh, Pavail Gulati, her husband, gets up in the morning, and the next day he says that, okay, he did it in a fit of rage, life should move on and things like that. He's never really apologetic, and to him, it's all about his business, his career, and bygones are bygones. Let's move on. That kind of attitude he has, and so Amrita is very frustrated. She's now living in her home for quite some time. She doesn't come back, and then she gets a notice from her husband to come back to home, and that just leads to a lot of arguments and just blaming each other for what's going on. And her husband has an Indian male ego, which is very strong, which is very high, and he then starts to put more and more allegations on her, create a petition which has a lot of different things where things are untrue. He hires a lawyer. She also then ultimately goes to a woman rights lawyer who herself has her own story. So there are different stories that are intertwined, and it makes it quite an interesting mix of what's really going on in different people's life. But ultimately, Amrita does file for divorce because she stops loving her husband. All she wanted is happiness and self-respect, and I think she was happy. But this moment where she gets slapped, it does reveal that maybe she doesn't have that. She's not given that self-respect. And it's very interesting because when you feel when someone gets slapped, a partner, whether it's a male or a female, should they just go for a divorce? But it's not just one moment. I think it's a chain of events that lead to that moment. Is that this person is all about money? He doesn't love me, and he has not even come back and apologized once. He is not even, no one in the family. In fact, there's one scene in the end where, in spite of whatever is happening between two families, which they seem very open, supportive, or whatever needs to happen, although Amrita gets a lot of anger from her brother, from her mom, from other relatives as to what's going on, and including her husband too. Why is this going on? Why do they have to divorce? And then she gets pregnant too. So he just says, okay, I need the custody of the kid. So in spite of all these things, he's not saying that he's hurt her wife, and he still wants to have everything by himself. You know, his car, his company, his CEO position, his newborn kid, things like that. So I think there are a lot of twists that happen in the movie, and I was contemplating like what really is the director trying to show. Like is one slap enough to justify walking away from a relationship and ask for a divorce? And I was always in this mixed bag. I was thinking that maybe that's gone too far, and I was hoping that things will go settle down, but that doesn't happen, and eventually they get divorced. And in the end, one of the scenes that I was talking about is that Taapsee Pannu tells everyone in the home that no one came to her except for her dad. That no one was apologetic. No one said that it was her husband's fault. She didn't get that support she needed, and I think that's a very breaking moment, which was well directed. And in the end, after they get divorced, even the husband, he realizes his mistake, but it's kind of too late now. He says it was all about his work. He never came back. He never showed the love, and things could have been better. So I think that maybe in the future things could have got better. But as the movie ends, they both are divorced. They live as friends, and it's a message to the story. It's a message to society that you have to value your partner. I mean, whether they're a housewife, whether they're a CEO of a company, and this applies to a male or a female. In the Indian society, it's all about the male. He's doing everything, and I feel that's not wrong. That is wrong. I'm sorry. And one needs to stand up for what they have to do. So it's a very interesting move. You will not see this happening very often in the Indian society. But I think kudos to the director, Mr. Anubhav Sinha, and all the acting cast was totally brilliant. You're totally engaged watching this show. So I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5. I think on every aspect, whether it was editing, cinematography, story, acting, it really went very well. The movie did flow very well, and you should watch it when you get a chance. It's on Netflix. So take it, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.